Big cities just broke another record. The average two-bedroom rent now sits over $3,200 a month in 2025. But right now, there are still 10 hidden U.S. towns where that same apartment costs only $750 to $1,100. Jobs are booming faster than anywhere else, and nobody on YouTube is talking about them. Yet these towns are about to skyrocket in 2026 when everyone else finally discovers them. I'm counting them down, and town number 3 made me open a new tab for one-way flights just last week. Let's dive in before it's too late. Number 10. Brattleboro, Vermont. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average two-bedroom rent is $950 to $1,150. Median home price is still under $320,000. Cost of living index is 94, which is 6% below the national average. Here's why it is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population has grown 18% since 2020, and net migration ranks in the top 8% nationwide. Major employers are expanding. Omega Optical added 200 engineering jobs paying $70,000 to $95,000. And C&S Wholesale Grocers employs thousands. 2 new fiber internet projects have made Brattleboro a remote worker haven, with Boston and New York escapees already moving in. The town's walkability and vibe are unmatched. I walked the entire downtown in just 12 minutes, grabbed a latte for $3.50, and 4 strangers said good morning. It feels like Portland, Oregon in the 1990s. Daily life is incredible. The Saturday farmers market is packed year-round. The West River Trail is perfect for running or kayaking. There are 3 independent bookstores, live music every weekend, and crime is so low that people still leave bikes unlocked. Families, retirees, and young professionals all feel at home here. The secret is not staying secret for long. A major Netflix series starts filming in spring 2026, and a high-speed rail study could connect Brattleboro to New York City in under 3 hours. Locals told me off camera that 2 years ago houses sat on the market for weeks. Now, homes go pending in just 48 hours, and investors are knocking on doors. Rents already jumped 14% in the past year. In 2026, urban professionals will fully discover Brattleboro, and prices could double almost overnight. If you want an artsy, progressive, outdoor paradise with seasons but without the insane cost. This is one of the last East Coast towns left. I paused when I saw the latest job growth and Zillow rentals disappearing in hours and wondered if I could handle real winters again. Brattleboro proves you can still find that perfect small-town creative vibe on a normal salary, yet the window is closing fast. And if you think this town is impressive, wait until number 9. The rent drops even lower, the weather is warmer, and the growth story is absolutely insane. You are not ready for what is coming next. Number 9. Athens, Georgia. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average 2-bedroom rent is $850 to $1,250. Even with the University of Georgia in town, median home price is still under $335,000. Cost of living index, 89, which is 11% below the national average and cheaper than most southern college towns. Here's why Athens is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population has exploded 22% since 2020. Georgia ranked number 1 for in-migration 3 years straight, and Athens is attracting thousands of remote workers and families priced out of Atlanta, just 70 minutes away. Major employers are expanding rapidly. Caterpillar is building a new plant 20 minutes away, with 1,500 jobs paying $60,000 to $110,000. Piedmont Hospital is adding 400 healthcare roles, and UGA plus the biotech corridor continues to create 6-figure, remote-friendly positions. Fiber internet is everywhere, and 2 new co-working hubs have opened downtown. Walkability and vibe are incredible. I parked once and never needed my car again. Downtown is fully walkable. I grabbed a $3.50 coffee, walked to 3 live music venues in 10 minutes, and strangers were talking about shows like it was 1990s Seattle. Daily life is unforgettable. Athens produced REM, Widespread Panic, and the B-52s. There are still 15+ live music venues, 40 breweries and distilleries. One of the best farmers markets in the South, the State Botanical Garden, 17 miles of greenway trails, and the Oconee River for kayaking just 10 minutes from downtown. Crime is low. Schools rank in the top 15% in Georgia, and people still wave on porches. The secret is leaking fast. Multiple articles in 2025 already call Athens the next Austin before Austin got expensive. California and New York plates are everywhere. Zillow searches are up 68% year-over-year. A highway expansion finishing late 2026 will cut the Atlanta commute to under an hour, and developers are buying every duplex they can find. Rents jumped 16% in the last 12 months alone. Locals told me off camera, "We used to laugh at Atlanta prices. Now we are scared we're next." If you want Southern charm, world-class live music, Big Ten college energy, and actual affordability, Athens is one of the last towns where you can still live within a mile of downtown. Athens is living proof that big city culture can exist on a small town budget, but 2026 is coming in hot, and if you think Athens is impressive, wait until number 8. The rent drops below $800 in some spots. The weather is perfect year-round, and the growth story is so insane locals are already begging people to stop moving there. You are not ready for what is next. Number 8. Greenville, South Carolina. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average 2-bedroom rent is $950 to $1,350. Downtown lofts included. Median home price is still under $360,000. Cost of living index is 91, 9% below the national average and cheaper than Charlotte or Raleigh, even though Greenville is now stealing jobs from both. Here's why Greenville is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population has grown 28% since 2020, making it one of the fastest growing metro areas in the country. South Carolina has ranked in the top 3 for net migration the last 4 years, and Greenville is the magnet. Major employers are expanding. Michelin North America, HQ, is here. GE Power added thousands of $80,000 to $130,000 engineering jobs. BMW's plant 30 minutes away keeps growing, and Lockheed Martin and Hubbell are both adding shifts. Fiber internet blankets the city, and 3 new co-working spaces opened downtown in the last 18 months. Atlanta escapees are flooding in Georgia plates everywhere. Walkability and vibe are next level. Falls Park on the Reedy River runs right through downtown. I walked Main Street in 15 minutes, crossed a 350-foot suspension bridge over a waterfall, grabbed a $4 craft beer, and watched families picnic while buses played live music. It feels like a mini Asheville that hasn't priced everyone out yet. Daily life is extraordinary. Swamp Rabbit Trail offers 22 miles of greenway packed with runners and cyclists every morning. Downtown boasts 100-plus restaurants, free outdoor concerts in the summer, minor league baseball, and the Peace Center hosting Broadway shows. Crime is low, schools rank in the top 10% in the state, and people still greet you with a polite "Yes ma am" or "Yes sir." The secret is already half out. Condé Nast and Travel Plus Leisure have called Greenville one of the best places to live in America for 3 years running. Zillow searches are up 74% year over year. A massive new mixed-use development begins in spring 2026, adding 2,000 apartments in a second downtown district. Locals told me off camera, 5 years ago we were a sleepy mill town. Now California investors are buying entire streets and we're terrified rent is about to double. Rents jumped 18% in the last 12 months. 2026 is when the rest of the country will finally wake up. If you want mountain views, waterfalls in your backyard, real Southern hospitality, and a downtown that feels like Colorado with sweet tea, Greenville is one of the last Southern cities where normal people can still buy or rent without a tech salary. Greenville proves you can have the perfect mountain town meet Southern city vibe on a normal paycheck, but the clock is ticking. And if you think Greenville is impressive, wait until number 7. Rent drops below $750 in some spots. The weather is tropical year-round, and growth is so explosive, locals are begging people to slow down. You are not ready for what comes next. Number 7. Lawrence, Kansas. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average 2-bedroom rent right now is $750 to $1,100. Even just a block from downtown Massachusetts Street. Median home price is still under $315,000. Cost of living index 87, which is 13% below the national average and cheaper than 90% of Big 12 college towns. Here's why Lawrence is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population jumped 21% since 2020. Kansas City, only 40 minutes away, got too expensive. So families and remote workers are spilling over hard. Walkability and vibe are insane. Massachusetts Street, or Mass Street, is the heart of the city. I parked once and walked 12 minutes, end to end, grabbed a $3.50 craft latte, watched a free outdoor concert on a Tuesday night, and 5 strangers greeted me like we'd known each other for years. It genuinely feels like Austin in the 90s, or Boulder before the tech crowd took over. Daily life is next level. Clinton Lake for sailing and mountain biking is just 10 minutes away, plus the Kansas River Trail, 50 miles of bike paths, one of the Midwest's best farmers markets. Every Saturday, 30 breweries and distilleries and live music 7 nights a week, at venues like the Bottleneck and the Granada. Schools rank in the top 10% in Kansas. Crime is so low, people leave doors unlocked during basketball games, and locals still say hello to everyone. The secret is already leaking. ESPN and Forbes called Lawrence one of the best college towns in America. In 2025, Zillow searches are up 81%. A massive new mixed-use development breaks ground in spring 2026, adding 1,500 apartments and retail just off I-70. Developers are buying every duplex in West Lawrence. Locals told me off camera, "We used to be Kansas City's best-kept secret. Now we're terrified we're next." Rents already jumped 19% in the last 12 months. 2026 is when the rest of the Midwest finally catches on. If you want Big 12 basketball energy, world-class arts and music, perfect Midwest seasons, and affordability while it still exists, Lawrence is one of the last true college towns where you can live walking distance to everything. And if you think Lawrence is impressive, wait until number 6. Rent drops below $700 in some spots. The winters are almost non-existent. And the job boom is so crazy locals are already protesting new construction. You are not ready for where we're headed next. Number 6. Chattanooga, Tennessee. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average 2-bedroom rent is $950, $1,250. Even in the trendy South Side and North Shore neighborhoods, median home price still under $365,000. Cost of living index, 89. That's 11% below the national average and cheaper than Nashville, Knoxville, or Asheville. Here's why Chattanooga is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population has grown 24% since 2020. Tennessee ranks top 3 for net migration, and Chattanooga consistently leads the state. Volkswagen recently added 2,000 jobs paying $65K $110,000. Sanofi and Bellhop are expanding. Amazon opened a massive fulfillment center 20 minutes away, in the gig city. Fiber internet, 1,000 Mbps standard plus for new co-working spaces downtown are attracting remote workers from California, New York, and Atlanta. You can't walk down the street without spotting out-of-state plates. Walkability and vibe are next level. The Walnut Street walking bridge spans the Tennessee River. Downtown is fully walkable, and you can grab a $3.50 coffee, hit 3 breweries, and visit an indie bookstore in 15 minutes flat. Random people on the street were talking about the Ironman race like it was the Super Bowl. It feels like a mini Austin before prices went nuclear. Daily life is absurdly good. Lookout Mountain and Ruby Falls are practically in your backyard. 100+ miles of trails on Stringer Ridge River. Kayaking 5 minutes from downtown. The Hunter Museum Moon Pie Festivals, over 50 breweries, and live music every single night. Crime is dropping, schools are climbing the rankings, and locals still wave from their porches. The secret that's already leaking. CNBC and Forbes called Chattanooga a top emerging tech hub in 2025. Zillow searches are up 79%. Yowie, a $1.2 billion downtown riverfront redevelopment finishes late 2026, adding 3,000 apartments and a new amphitheater. Investors are already buying entire blocks in North Shore. Locals told me off camera, "We were the best kept secret in the South. Now we're terrified. We're about to become the next Nashville." Rents have jumped 17% in the last 12 months alone. 2026 is the year the rest of America finally catches on. If you want gigabit internet for $70 a month, mountains and rivers at your doorstep, Southern food that actually hits, and genuine affordability while it still exists, Chattanooga is one of the last Southern cities where normal people can live 5 minutes from everything cool. When I pulled the latest pending home data and saw houses going under contract in 4 days, I literally opened a new tab and started pricing moving trucks. Chattanooga is living proof you can still get that perfect outdoor city hybrid on a normal salary. But the clock is ticking fast. And if you think Chattanooga is impressive, wait until number 5. Rent drops below $700 in some neighborhoods. Winters are mild, and the growth is so intense, locals are already asking companies to slow down hiring. You are not ready for what's next. Number 5. Huntsville, Alabama. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average 2-bedroom rent, $950, $1,250. Even in the hot downtown and mid-city districts. Median home price, still under $360,000. Cost of living index, 88, that's 12%. Below the national average and cheaper than almost every booming southern city. Here's why Huntsville is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population has exploded 28% since 2020. Fastest growing metro in Alabama and top 10 nationwide. Walkability and vibe. Downtown is thriving. I grabbed a $3.50 craft coffee, walked to 3 breweries and the Orion Amphitheater in 12 minutes. And strangers were talking about the latest rocket launch like it was Friday Night Football. It feels like Austin in 2010 meets Cape Canaveral. Daily life is next level. 500+ miles of trails in Montesano State Park. Tennessee River kayaking 10 minutes away. One of the South's best craft beer scenes with 50 breweries, Low Mill Arts Factory, U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and live music every single night. Crime is dropping. Schools rank in the top 10% in Alabama, and locals still say yes ma'am. The secret that's already leaking. CNBC named Huntsville the #1 best place to live in America in 2025. Zillow searches are up 82% year over year. A massive $1 billion plus mid-city development finishes late 2026, adding 3,000 apartments and retail. Investors are buying entire subdivisions, locals told me off camera. We were NASA's quiet backyard. Now we're terrified we're the next Austin. Rents jumped 16% in the last 12 months alone. 2026 is when the rest of the country finally catches on. If you want rocket launches from your porch, Southern hospitality, insane job growth in six-figure fields, and actual affordability while it lasts. Huntsville is one of the last places in America where normal people can still buy a house and live 5 minutes from everything cool. When I pulled the latest job listings and saw houses pending in 72 hours, I legitimately opened a new tab and started looking at flights to Alabama. Huntsville is living proof you can still get big city tech money on small town prices. But the clock is ticking loud. And if you think Huntsville is impressive, wait until number 4. Rent drops below $650 in some spots. Winters barely exist. And the growth is so ridiculous the mayor is literally begging companies to slow down. You are not ready for what's next. Number 4. Asheville, North Carolina. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average 2-bedroom rent right now is $1,100 to $1,450. Even in the popular downtown and West Asheville neighborhoods, median home price is still under $420,000. Cost of living index, 96, which is 4% below the national average and cheaper than Charlotte or Raleigh, despite Asheville's growing appeal. Here's why Asheville is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population has grown 18% since 2020, and North Carolina consistently ranks among the top states for net migration. Young professionals, remote workers, and retirees are flocking to Asheville for the combination of culture, affordability, and outdoor lifestyle. Major employers like Mission Health, Biltmore Estates, and a booming craft brewery sector are hiring aggressively. Fiber internet blankets the city, and 3 new co-working spaces opened downtown in the last year. Plates from New York, California, and Atlanta are everywhere on the streets. Walkability and vibe are exceptional. Downtown Asheville is packed with art galleries, craft breweries, live music venues, and farm tea table restaurants. I've walked from my coffee spot to a local gallery and 3 music venues in under 15 minutes. Strangers were chatting about last weekend's festival like old friends. It feels like Portland in the early 2000s, but without the price tag. Daily life is next level. The Blue Ridge Mountains are minutes away for hiking, biking, and scenic drives. Rivers and lakes offer kayaking, fishing, and swimming. Local farmers markets, seasonal festivals, and live music events fill weekends. Crime is low, schools rank high in the state, and the community is tight-knit with neighbors waving from porches. The secret that's starting to leak: Condé Nast Traveler, Forbes, and Travel Plus Leisure have all named Asheville a top emerging city in 2025. Zillow searches are up 68%. Year over year, new mixed-use developments will add 1,500 apartments and retail by late 2026. Investors are snapping up duplexes and historic homes fast. Locals told me, off camera, we've always loved our city. But now we're bracing for the boom. Rents have jumped 15% in the last 12 months alone. 2026 is when the rest of the country will finally wake up. If you want mountains at your doorstep, a thriving art scene, outdoor adventure daily, and genuine Southern hospitality while still finding affordable homes, Asheville is one of the last Southeast cities where normal people can live near the action. When I checked the latest real estate data and saw houses pending in under a week, I started planning my own weekend getaway. Asheville proves you can have small-town charm, culture, and affordability together, but the window is closing fast. And if you think Asheville is impressive, wait until number 3. The rent drops under $700 in some areas. The weather is near perfect, year-round, and the growth story is about to explode. You are not ready for what's coming next. Number 3. Fort Collins, Colorado. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see in late 2025. Average 2-bedroom, rent right now is $1,100, $1,300. Even in downtown Old Town, median home price still under $380,000. Cost of living index, 96, that's 4% below the national average and significantly cheaper than Denver or Boulder. Here's why Fort Collins is about to skyrocket in 2026. Population has jumped 20% since 2020, making it one of the fastest-growing small cities in Colorado. Colorado State University continues to attract students, faculty, and tech talent. Major employers expanding right now include Intel's 2,500-plus jobs campus nearby, Otter Products adding 400 tech roles, and several emerging green energy companies hiring engineers and remote-friendly staff. Fiber internet blankets the city, and 3 new co-working hubs opened downtown in the last 18 months. California, Texas, and Colorado plates dominate parking lots. The word is spreading fast. Walkability and vibe are unreal. Downtown Old Town is entirely walkable. I grabbed a $3.50 latte, strolled past live music at 4 venues, visited 2 art galleries, and locals were chatting about the weekend farmers market like neighbors should. It feels like a mini Boulder before prices went insane. Daily life is next level. Horsetooth Reservoir and Lorry State Park for hiking, mountain biking, and kayaking 10 minutes from downtown. 50-plus breweries and distilleries. Live music every night. Farmers markets year-round. Excellent public schools, and crime so low you still see unlocked bikes. Parks, greenways, and outdoor recreation make every weekend feel like a vacation. The secret that's already leaking. Zillow searches are up 72% year-over-year. Local news already calls Fort Collins the next tech haven for families priced out of Denver. A $500 million mixed-use development is breaking ground in spring 2026 with 1,500 apartments, retail, and new office space. Locals told me off camera, "We were Colorado's hidden gem. Now we're terrified we're about to get discovered." Rents jumped 15% in the last 12 months alone. 2026 is when the rest of the country finally notices. If you want outdoor adventure in your backyard, walkable downtown vibes, high-paying tech jobs, and actual affordability while it lasts, Fort Collins is one of the last small cities in Colorado where normal people can still buy a home and live minutes from everything cool. When I saw the latest pending home data and new tech job postings, I legitimately opened a new tab and started pricing moving trucks. Fort Collins is living proof you can still get the perfect mix of outdoor lifestyle, small city charm, and career opportunities on a normal salary. But the window is closing fast. And if you think Fort Collins is impressive, wait until number 2. Rent drops below $600 in prime spots. The weather is basically perfect year-round, and the growth is so explosive even local officials are begging people to slow down. You are not ready for what's next. Number 2, McAllen, Texas. First, the numbers nobody wants you to see. In late 2025, average 2-bedroom rent is $750 to $1,050. But in prime spots like downtown, McAllen, or Edinburgh, you can still lock in updated apartments and duplexes under $550 with utilities included. Median home price is under $260,000. Cost of living index, 78, that's 22% below the national average and the cheapest booming metro in the entire country. Here, SY McAllen is about to skyrocket in 2026. The population has exploded 29% since 2020. The fastest growing metro in Texas and top 3 nationwide. SpaceX's Starbase is just 45 minutes away, pulling 6-figure engineers. Tesla's new lithium refinery in nearby Robstown, the port of Brownsville expansion. And dozens of maquiladoras are adding $60,000, $110,000 manufacturing and logistics jobs. Fiber internet covers the city, and 5 new co-working spaces opened downtown this year. Plates from California, Illinois, and New York are absolutely flooding. I-2. Walkability and vibe are shockingly good. Downtown McAllen, I grabbed a $2.50 McCalla, walked the entire Zona Cultural in 12 minutes, hit 3 taquerias and a live mariachi spot, and strangers invited me to their table like family. It feels like a mini San Antonio that nobody discovered yet. Daily life is paradise. Over 300 days of sunshine. South Padre Island beaches just 60 minutes away. Benson, Rio Grande Valley State Park for birding and kayaking, the best Tex-Mex and Mexican food in America. Festivals almost every weekend in winters, so non-existent people wear flip-flops on Christmas. Crime is dropping fast in the hot areas. Schools are improving rapidly, and Tejano hospitality is on steroids. The secret is finally getting out. CNBC called McAllen America's #1 emerging boomtown. In 2025, Zillow searches are up 94%. A $1.5 billion convention center and mixed-use district finishes late 2026, and locals are already protesting new apartment complexes weekly because traffic is getting to Austin. The mayor and city council have publicly begged developers to slow down. Rents jumped 21% in the last 12 months alone. 2026 is when the rest of America finally wakes up. If you want 0 winter beaches an hour away, the cheapest groceries in the U.S., and actual affordability while it lasts, McAllen is one of the last places where normal people can still rent a brand new apartment for what Californians pay for a parking spot. With $120,000 plus SpaceX-related jobs posting daily and homes pending in 24 hours, it's hard not to be impressed. McAllen is living proof you can still get that perfect warm border city vibe on a normal salary, but the clock is ticking louder than ever. And if you think McAllen is insane, wait until #1 the rent drops below $500 in prime downtown spots. There's no winter at all, and the growth is so explosive people are literally begging outsiders to stop moving there. You are not ready for the final one. #1, Harlingen, Texas. Hold on tight because Harlingen, Texas, might be the last truly affordable city in America that still offers opportunity and lifestyle. And the numbers prove it. In late 2025, average two-bedroom rent in prime downtown areas is still under $500. Fully updated units typically rent for $550 to $700. Median home prices remain astonishingly low at around $220,000. The cost of living index is 75, which is 25% below the national average. You will not find this combination of affordability, warm climate, and quality of life anywhere else in the country. Harlingen's growth story is subtle but explosive. The population has risen more than 25% since 2020, fueled by families and remote workers relocating from high-cost states such as California, Illinois, and New York. The nearby port of Harlingen expansion, logistics hubs, and a growing healthcare sector are creating tens of thousands of jobs, many paying $50,000 to $90,000 annually. Fiber optic internet covers the entire city, co-working spaces are opening, and entrepreneurs are discovering an incredibly low-cost, high-opportunity environment to launch businesses. Lifestyle in Harlingen is a hidden paradise. With more than 300 days of sunshine, winters are essentially non-existent. South Padre Island is less than an hour away, offering beaches, boating, and kiteboarding. The Rio Grande Valley provides year-round birding, kayaking, and hiking options. Local culture thrives with weekly festivals, live music, and some of the best Tex-Mex in the United States. Residents experience warmth both literally and figuratively, with communities known for friendliness, hospitality, and inclusion. The secret is finally leaking out. CNBC named the Rio Grande Valley a top emerging boom area in 2025, and Harlingen is leading the charge. Zillow searches are up nearly 100% year over year. Locals are already expressing frustration at the sudden influx of newcomers. New apartment complexes are being protested, traffic is increasing, and city leaders are openly asking developers to slow growth. Rents have climbed 18% in the past year alone, yet prime deals under $500 are still available for now. Harlingen proves that affordability does not mean compromise. You can rent a modern apartment, enjoy a booming local economy, access excellent amenities, and experience an active outdoor lifestyle without spending a fortune. Families, retirees, and young professionals can all thrive here, making Harlingen the ultimate hidden gem of 2025. If you are searching for a city where you can live comfortably, escape winter, enjoy beaches, and get incredible value for your money, Harlingen, Texas, is the one place you need to know. The clock is ticking, and 2026 may be the last year to grab a prime rental at this price. Boom! 10 hidden U.S. towns still dirt cheap in 2025, but not for long. Harlingen, number 1. 2 beds under $500. Mind blown. Comment now, which one are you moving to in 2026? Harlingen, McAllen, Rocket Money, Huntsville. Top 3 most liked comments in 48 hours. Get my full 2026 moving checklist for all 10 towns, free. Smash like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Next up, 7 overseas cities where rent is under $400. Move fast, live smart, and maybe I'll see you in Harlingen.